So I have two presentations. The first one is answering non-technical questions, and the second one is about competitive strategies. What you will see is exactly the same set of slides. So the two presentations have exactly the same set of slides, because the reality is that this is tackling the same issue under two different points of view. One is reactive, so proactive if you prefer. We get questions and we provide answers. The other one is proactive in the real sense, so we tell people what we would like them to understand from our project. So I will not cover everything, it is impossible in half an hour, but I would like to give you a sense of part of the job that is done centrally in terms of marketing thinking that the community can use, because I'm not doing this to satisfy myself, but I'm doing this to provide some ammunition for the community when they are in situation where they talk to companies that would like to deploy LibreOffice and they perceive the company is asking completely stupid questions, which happens most of the time, or they enter into a room and as it happens to me, they say, oh, yes, you're too old to be in open source software, okay? Which is probably real, because I'm the oldest at the conference, or one of the oldest, but this is just tells you how much we are victims of stereotypes in a sense. So these are the questions. Let's jump all the ones that are not bold. The two real questions are the last two. So the last two is, how the hell can I save my butt? Because if I choose free software, everyone would shoot at me. And the second one is, how the hell should I trust you versus Mr. X? Mr. X is a company based in Redmond, Microsoft Plaza One, but I don't know the name of the company, of course. So we all, that we are in free software, we all know that these are completely idiot questions, apart from the last two, which are serious questions. Because these are, I mean, the idiot questions hide the serious one. Of course, no one will tell you, can you provide me a parachute when they will start shooting at me, and I will not have an answer. And the other one is, give me a reason for me to go to my bosses or to the guy that pays my salary or pay the project, and give me enough ammunition to get the money. And to get the money in a way that is safe enough that I don't have to discuss on a daily basis why they gave me the money. Okay? So basically, the main issue that we face is a psychological issue. So it's resistance to change. This is the big problem that we are facing. It's not technical, it's psychological. Of course, technology can help us in solving this problem, but the problem is completely psychological, or the origin of the problem is completely psychological. The curve that you see in psychology is called the Kubler-Ross curve. It's the curve of reaction to unexpected news. And this has been studied. Mrs. Kubler-Ross was a Swiss psychologist, and she studied this. Is the curve of change. The issue is that although this has been studied for things that happen to us as human beings, actually the first reason to study that was reaction to death. So this is the typical reaction to when my father died, this was my reaction. It's normal, it's human. It is what your brain is doing in front of unexpected change. And changing the software on the desktop is an unexpected change, unless you make it expected, programmed, scheduled, and known. So what we have to do with this is exactly we have to try to flatten the curve as much as possible. To get it flat is impossible, but we can make it expected. So, of course, when you will open LibreOffice for the first time, it will be different. But it will be different in a way that you already probably know about it. So, some reasons why, some of the things that we should tell people when they deploy, before they start deploying free software. And in many cases, even when they call us and they say, you know, I've already done all the intelligence, I've already chosen free software, I want to deploy LibreOffice, so I'm already convinced. They are convinced for a single reason, is they want to save money. And probably by looking at the economics of the operation, they save money. But they don't have all the other answers simply because they've done the local economic intelligence. They have not done all the rest of the intelligence. So first, open source is everywhere. Only 3% of companies do not use open source. This is a future of open source research is done in America. Americans are not, let's say, open source so friendly in general. So this gives you a trend that is about what is happening in general in the marketplace. It's growing. It's not just 78% and some more, but it's growing. And it's growing and it's getting better. These are all percentages that tells you that the expectation of the people outside us are that free software grows, improves in quality, gets better. Unfortunately, all this stuff, it's as a technical reason behind it. That's not a psychological reason. So we have to make the connection between the technical reasons, which are, of course, it's more solid and so on and so forth, and the psychological ones. Because everyone outside this room, but I'm part of, for those that don't know me, I am not a technologist at all. I have a degree in humanities in '78, so it was another world. There were dinosaurs around still. I wrote my thesis on a typewriter. There were no computers at the time. And I've worked as a consultant for proprietary companies for many years. And I can tell you that when I was in that environment, I did not realize that I was working for proprietary software. That was software. There was no proprietary or free or anything around it. It was software. So there is a large majority of people that is working in an environment that we consider proprietary, but do not feel being in a proprietary environment. So we have to make them aware that by choosing free software, that usually is done because it costs less. At least if you do the basic math, it costs less. Then this opens another can of worms if possible. But let's say that the first impact, it costs less. The reality is that we have to explain these people all the advantages of free software that they're not aware, apart from the fact that that has not a cost of license. So what is important, for instance, is that the same research that was saying that 78% of companies run on free software says also that LibreOffice is one of the 7 most important free software projects. How many of this is a 2 years old slide. Apart from the Italians that are strongly motivated by my presence of using this slide, how many people in this room have used these slides? At least once. Okay. The slide is available. If you don't have the slide, you write me and I send you the slide. This, I think, should be shown to anyone. I would say, apart from the Italians that are strongly motivated by my presence of using these slides. They, otherwise I ask them which leg should I broke first. I use another term, but in Italian, but it's rather clear. Yes, I asked them which titanium plaque should I order for which bone of their legs. Okay, it's let's call it a transversal message. We have a foundation that is as strong as a company behind it. This is a selling point. We have to use it. If we use it before people ask questions, half of those questions they will not have they will not ask the questions, because one of the questions is who is behind LibreOffice. We have to tell them before they ask the questions, because then if you tell it before, you're not justifying yourself. If you answer a question, it's always something that justifies the fact that there is a foundation. We have to be able to bring the topic before and be brave enough to say there is a foundation. We have very strict quality assurance process, internal process. No one will ask you which are the process if you tell them upfront. If you don't tell them upfront, they will probably spend a day in asking why LibreOffice is more secure than Microsoft Office. We have created, of course, we are talking about migrations. What we call is migration, moving from a software to another one, but not just replacing the software. I mean, if you replace the software, you're bound to failure. If you migrate the mindset and in the process you change the software, then you might have a success. So there is a, of course, I'm not spending, I will talk, we will have a workshop on the protocol with Marina. This has been instrumental for some large migrations in Italy. First of all, the migration of the Ministry of Defense, 150,000 desktops. Of course, we have to provide also a timeline. People are used to reason in terms of timeline. We have to provide all the possible answers to any possible questions before the question is asked. Okay, other topic, open standards. This is a non-interoperable document of 2,000 years before Christ, so 4,000 years around it. Actually, I've not found a picture of a 3,000 years old tablet, but let's say that was not so different. So that document was basically impossible to exchange, so no interoperability. Okay? This is a Word document open with a text editor. is not so different from the cuneiform table of 4,000 years ago. So this is false interoperability. You have in front of you is interoperable, technically speaking is not. Then you go to ODF, which is the LibreOffice format, and ODF is transparent. Of course, what I'm showing you are slides that are not supposed to be shown to technical people, because a technical guy might start looking at mistakes into ODF, into the XML of the ODF as shown there. This has to impress people that do not know what XML is. Usually the people that chooses to implement LibreOffice do not know what XML is. So this is true interoperability. And this is as far as ODF is concerned. Coverity scan, quality of code. You are talking to people that knows source code probably less than I know source code, and I've said everything. So I don't know source code at all, but I can bet that some people in companies that choose software know and understand source code less than me. So what is Coverity Scan doing? Of course, Coverity Scan is doing a great job, but we can promote Coverity Scan beyond its technical meaning. So Coverity Scan is basically looking for mistakes in the source code and is helping us automatically to find mistakes. A developer would kill me for what I've just said, but I don't mind. This scares enough the guy in front of me, okay? And what I want to do is I want him to start thinking about the quality of the software he deploys at the moment, which is not LibreOffice, of course, and start asking questions to himself. So what is Coverity Scan, if you don't know, is a service created by the US government. Coverity finds that open source software is better than proprietary software in terms of quality of code. But this is key. This shows this is the code of OpenOffice.org that we inherited in 2010. And this is where LibreOffice is. You don't have to explain this slide. The difference is so big that no one will ask you about what has happened. They probably think that there is a miracle in between. I don't mind. This is enough to explain that they can look safely at LibreOffice in terms of quality of code. And then we give them the data, again, one outstanding defect of 827,133 million of code. Actually, Michael explained this morning that the number of open issues is higher, but this is on the code of 5.3. This is the code of 5.2. And I think people can be rather safe in implementing this. Another slide, the next one is pure marketing. Okay? So these are vulnerabilities. You know vulnerabilities. Is there anyone that knows which is the website that provides a database of vulnerabilities for every possible software around? Is the website of the National Institute of Standards and Technology of the US government. There is a specific page. They provide a search engine on the vulnerabilities, and you can make a comparison, of course, on the database between two different software. So end of July, the comparison is LibreOffice 11 in the 3 years from July 1st, end of June, sorry, from July 1st, 2013 to June 30, 2016, LibreOffice 11, Microsoft Office 151. And of course, I think that you are looking at the green box there and asking yourself why there is a green box down there and there is not a green box on top of it. The answer is that I want people to look at the last three lines, because this is what can scare them. So these are issues in the software. What may happen if something happens there? You have a crash. What happens here? These are issues in the document formats. What happens in this is, of course, I concentrate on the big red bar. The big red bar says that over the last 3 years, Microsoft documents have had over 100 vulnerabilities. This means that you can bet on the fact that at least one corrupted document will reach your email inbox per month, and if you double-click on that document, you have a choice of installing a virus, a Trojan, ransomware, or any other pleasant stuff. That will not happen with LibreOffice. 2 in 36 months means that you have one chance every 18 months, so it's a little bit easier to be careful about that. And there is an explanation, there is a research from Symantec, another third-party, not open-source company, that says that Microsoft-based formats are the best vehicle of infections. And the explanation is that ODF is a lot simpler than Office OpenXML. Of course, this is not for developers. Developers would probably start arguing on the significance of this. But again, when I met the people at the Ministry of Defense responsible for the security of software, I explained them the existence of the database of vulnerabilities. So if someone that is supposed to be a security expert doesn't know the top source of vulnerabilities, then this gives you a measure of how competent will be the people that you met when you are migrating. You met someone that had decided to migrate to LibreOffice. So basically, you can use a lot of marketing stuff. Do not get into technical stuff. They will never understand anything. So it's a marketing problem. It's not a technical problem. Then, of course, the UK government that is using ODF helps. The fact that there are 4 other countries that are using ODF helps a lot. The fact that there is a country not in Europe, so thank you, Franklin, helps a lot, because people say, oh, so it's not only European. No, thanks God it's not only European. And now let's do a little bit of a game. Are you all okay, including ladies, that this is red? Because you know ladies have a color palette which is at least twice as bigger as men's. We have 16 colors, and actual ladies start from 5,000. So for everyone, this is red. Okay? Fantastic. So this is not the same for LibreOffice and Microsoft Office. So let's say LibreOffice, in this case, is the dull man that has 16 colors. It calls the colors exactly the same way, while Microsoft Office is very creative. So every application calls the color in a different way. I can tell you that showing these lines avoids delving into the description of OpenOffice, XML, and ODF, because people say, but if this happens with color, what will happen with more complex stuff? So by meeting people, there are several lessons that we learn. The protocol is helping a lot. We should really use it more. We should really try to have people stick to the protocol as much as possible. Communication is key. Migration is not a technical-based process. Technology is involved. But if you don't clear the psychological issues that end users have, you will have an end-user strike just because you have replaced the software. Impossible migration do not exist. Difficult one, yes. Educating enterprises is fundamental. And leveraging value-added resources, such as the long-term supported version of LibreOffice, which are available, is extremely important. Of course, starting by telling people you should deploy a long-term supported version when they are still asking themselves if they do the right thing in deploying LibreOffice is not the right way. But once they are convinced that LibreOffice is a damn good choice, then of course we can help companies in selling long-term supported version. We can ourselves sell consultancy and training, and we can help the ecosystem to grow. And now the last thing, if someone asks you a comparison between a definition of Microsoft Office, I don't know if you are familiar with the Plato's man. So Plato's man, Plato said that man is an animal with 2 legs and no feathers, okay? And Diogenes said, yes, this is Plato's man. So my definition of Microsoft Office is that Microsoft Office equals Diogenes' definition of Plato's man in terms of software. Okay? So Microsoft Office is a man without feathers and with 2 legs, according to this view. I finished. Thank you.